The Broncos have started 3-0 on the season, and the schedule's about to get real. And that AFC West is real, and the injury report has some unfortunate news on it as well. I'm Harrison Sanford. That's Aqib Talib. This is Call to the Booth. Every week we look and focus in on the Denver Broncos, and this week we got to do it again. Aqib, I know as somebody who's played a fair amount of games and been well on the defensive side of the ball, I know you have to be encouraged by what you've seen from the Denver Broncos, particularly after that shutout win against the New York Jets.
Definitely. You could look at the schedule and say whatever you want to say about the schedule, but when you play lesser opponents, you're supposed to dominate them and handle them, and I think that's what they're doing when they playing these lesser opponents, man. You get a Jet 0, get a bunch of turnovers, a bunch of sacks. That's what type of game you're supposed to have against the Jets, right? So I think it's real, man. I like what they're doing on defense, man. They flying around and they getting the ball right now, so I like it.
I know we were skeptical that they can cover that double-digit betting line, but they definitely did that for sure.
Yeah.
And part of the reason why they did that is they had some standout performances. Javonte Williams got in the end zone. Seen more of him as a pass catcher. Alexander Johnson, 5 tackles, 2 sacks, a pass deflection, 2 QB hits. Malik Reed got a sack as well. All candidates for the Bronco of the week, but you're not choosing them. Who you going with?
I'm going to go with Coach Fangio, man. 0-7 in September, past 2 seasons. 3-0 this year, man. They put a big emphasis on September this year. Started in the preseason and got things rolling. I think he did a great job bringing that to fruition. You know what I'm saying? That start he wanted to have, he got the team to buy in. They bought in. Bronco of the week, Coach Fangio.
And always a candidate for Bronco of the week, Von Miller. Got another sack again, up to 4 sacks. He's plus 1,400 to lead the NFL in sacks. Right now he's behind Myles Garrett, Danielle Hunter, T.J. Watt, and Chandler Jones. Actually, and Garrett's up to 5.5 sacks. So Von Miller right behind him. Again, I know you said you would place a bet.
Yeah.
You're putting down even more stacks on Von
Miller. I might
Miller
go do it. See, last time I was just talking, right? I might go do it. I might go lock in for real now, Harrison. Because he just looks so fresh. He looks so quick. His vision good, man. The times he don't feel the rush, he'll stop, retrace, man. He countering and everything. So I like what he doing right now, man. I definitely got to get on my little site and lock that in.
He looks absolutely great. It's nice to see him healthy. And unfortunately, Aqib, when it comes down to football, there are injuries. And there's a major one here for the Denver Broncos that happened this past weekend. KJ Hamler, done for the season with the torn ACL. This is already with Jerry Jeudy out multiple weeks. This offense is going to be impacted now, even though Teddy Bridgewater has played well. How do you think he manages this? This is another big-time target out of the offense.
It's hard, man, but you got to deal with it. You know the injury is going to come, but that's they take the top off guy, man. When you see him on the field, teams know they better take a step or two back. This guy take the top off. So now you don't have that. So now you know teams may sit on a couple of those dig routes, a couple of those shorter intermediate routes that Sutton runs, stuff like that, man. So you need that take the top off guy, man. So they're going to have to find somebody to replace him. I'm sure they got somebody there who could replace him. Their little punt returner got some speed out there, man. So somebody got to step up and fill that void.
Overall, this division, Aqib, that AFC West, looking tough. Chiefs at 1-2, Chargers at 2-1, beating the Chiefs, and again Vegas at 3-0. Give me your state of the division right now as you look at those 3 teams and how it factors into where the Broncos are trying to get in terms of the playoffs.
I think it's good. I think they look good right now. They division playing good. The Chiefs is struggling. The Chiefs going to be the one who pick it up later in the end of the year. One of these teams is going to fall off and start going down, but you want to play against good competition, man. You want your division to be good. It kind of crank you up as well. Yeah, we part of the division and we good too, right? So I like how they match up against them other teams, man. Everybody in their division, they're going to match up with them pretty good. They'll be able to handle their receivers on all the other teams. So, you know, that's going to be it. If you want to make the playoffs and you want to be one of those teams, you got to win within your division and you got to win now.
One of those players that can help them win, Justin Simmons, and he got his first interception of the season in Week 3. How will he and the Broncos defense shut down Lamar Jackson in Week 4? Come right back. We'll talk about it. This is Call to the Booth. One team that people might be investing in, the Denver Broncos, Aqib's former team, at 3-0, have a real tough 4-game stretch here coming up. Ryen, are you buying the Denver Broncos? Obviously, that injury that just happened to KJ Hamler, torn ACL, done for the season. Teddy Bridgewater losing another target. Aqib and I will talk about that on Thursday. But are you buying the Denver Broncos in general?
Yeah, you know what, man? I've loved their defense now for so long, and it just doesn't stay healthy. I mean, Von Miller will be, without question, one of my favorite players I've ever seen play because peak Von Miller is just stupid. You know, Chubb has the injury where he's kind of getting something cleaned out, but he's going to come back. I still want to see those guys like next to each other for a full season. And if you think about their quarterback play, if they had just had average quarterback play with the defensive personnel they've had at any of the point over these years, I mean, Flacco was way worse than they thought he would be. They brought Sanchez in going back years, and they were like, that's not close. They thought they had something at Trevor Siemian. That didn't happen. They went to Case Keenum thinking, hey, if we can just get the Vikings Case Keenum with this defense, we're a playoff team. Then he wasn't even close. Drew Lock already lost his job to Bridgewater. And so even if you're not the biggest Bridgewater fan, you go, hey, his baseline is better than all the shit you just put up with for half a decade. So yes, again, a huge if, because this league is basically determined on who survives these 18 weeks. But if their defensive personnel is close to being healthy, I really like Denver, and I have for a while. I'm just happy they have something steady at quarterback in Bridgewater because he's a huge upgrade from what they've dealt with for a long time.
I love what Denver is doing right now. I think Teddy is playing his best football that he played maybe since those early Minnesota days when he kind of had his breakout against us. You know what I'm saying? So I love what he's doing right now, man. That O-line is protecting them. They running the football good enough. They scoring in the red zone. And like you said, that defense is playing with so much confidence, man. They getting turnovers now. Chubb won't be out for the full season, even if he missed like the next 6 games or whatever, man. Long as you get Chubb back, and long as, like Russ said, long as they stay healthy, that's the name of the game. I like Denver. I like Denver to go be able to compete with all the teams in their division, Raiders, Chargers, Chiefs. I like them to be able to compete with those guys easy because they already you know those teams. And you can match up against those teams good. So I'm believing it, man. The Broncos, they on their way. I said what I said at the beginning of the year, 11-5. I still like it. I like them 11-5, 11-6, 12-5. I like it.
Teddy Bridgewater leading the NFL in completion rate, 5th in passer rating. This week, his team going against one of the most dynamic quarterbacks in the NFL, Lamar Jackson. Aqib, how in the world are the Broncos going to be able to stop somebody with this dynamic of a skill set? What would you do if you were on the defensive side of the ball in this matchup?
Well, you got to load that box. This is a big week for the DBs, right? Because I'm putting 8 in the box, and I'm going to say, man, my 2 corners and my safety, y'all got to prevent all deep balls, man. We know they're going to catch some stuff over the middle, intermediate. We can't let them catch no deep balls. We got to protect them seams. But you got to load that box and knock out that run first, right? That's what they're a running team, heavy run team. Stop Lamar. Load that box, man. Contain rush and make them be a passing team.
On the other side of the ball, we talked about the absence of KJ Hamler. We already know about the absence of Jerry Jeudy. Teddy's been a guy who's been spreading around the ball all season. How does he attack this Ravens defense, which has been somewhat depleted, but they're still a Harbaugh-led team, still a great defense, still have some great players on that defensive side of the ball? How would you attack the Ravens?
The Broncos just need this. I don't think their offense about playing the Ravens, man. Just keep doing what you're doing. Focus on getting that run game going. Once that run game get going, then play actions open up Fant. Then play actions open up Sutton across the middle. You get those guys to take that step down. You open up that second window, right behind them linebackers, right in between them safeties. So run the football, get them guys to come up on that play action, man. And then that's the same thing you've been doing all year. So continue to do what you've been doing all year. Started with that run. Teddy keep making plays, making that extra second, and finding guys downfield. So it's not really about who they playing. It's just about them continue to keep that balance. They got great balance on offense.
I got to break down the matchup between Mark Andrews and Justin Simmons, Kareem Jackson. Lamar Jackson's one of his favorite targets is Mark Andrews. How do the Broncos stop him?
That's our A+ matchup. That's gonna be the matchup that I'm watching when they playing. So whether they're in that match 3 or whether they're in man, it's going to be one of those 2 guys carrying him up the seam and running with him in the seams, and it'll be the middle of the field player. It'll end up being both safeties closing on him in the seams, that he loved to run. You see Mark Andrews catch so many seam routes. They're going to have to stop him. It's going to be a great matchup, 2 good safeties, 1 good tight end. And you know that's Lamar's security blanket. So it'll be a lot of targets there. I feel like whoever win that matchup probably going to win the game.
We got to look at the game pick. The Broncos are actually a 1.5-point favorite here, despite
They're the favorite.
Despite the Ravens, notoriety as a team. It's a 44.5 over under. Give me your game pick, and then we'll go into it a little bit more after that.
But first, I'm going to go over the 44. I think it's going to be a 30-something to 20-something type of game. And I think the Broncos pull it out, man. I think they have enough late in the game, to contain Lamar. And I think they can score some points on the Ravens. So I'll go with the over, and I'll go with the Broncos.
Broncos now at 3-0. Next 4 games, as we've been mentioning, Ravens, Steelers, Vegas, and the Cleveland Browns. At the end of this 4-game ride, what is their record?
They 3-0 right now. Out of them 4 games, they'd be 6-1 after this, man. 6-1. With a big division win over the Raiders. They probably, I say they lose one to Cleveland.
6-1 would not be bad, and I'm sure a lot more Broncos fans would love to hear things like that. And you could do that when you come here every week for our Broncos show right here on Altitude TV. I'm Harrison Sanford. That's Aqib Talib. We'll be back next week as we break down what happened in the Ravens game and we look ahead to their matchup in Pittsburgh against Big Ben and the Pittsburgh Steelers. See you next time.